Welcome back. YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Brett Franklin. One final segment, but before we get to that, we have to give you a slate of games for Saturday. Starting at noon, we have 5 games, and at 8 p.m. culminates with Brown at Harvard. So a big Ivy League matchup, and the Dartmouth Big Green are also in action this weekend at home for the final 2 home games. 3-7 in conference play. Still have an outside shot to make the tournament. What is your grade for this team as it sits right here? First-year coach Dave McLaughlin. He's got his team in position.
I say it's a B. I think there was a lot of unknowns coming in. Like you said, a first-year head coach. A lot of the players trying to get used to one another. But I'm not thinking it's as dire as one beat writer in the local paper said that it was a low point after a loss against Cornell. They go out, they play Columbia down by 5 in overtime. They come away with a victory. I think Dave McLaughlin, first-year head coach, he's getting the most out of these guys that he didn't recruit. And to be 1 game out of the 4th and final spot to play meaningful basketball this late in the season, I think anybody would take that. And really, nobody has Dartmouth making it to Philly. So all the pressure is really on the other teams, but it'll start this weekend with Brown and Yale coming to town.
Yeah, anything you do above what they have done now is a bonus. They have Brown, Yale, then Princeton and Penn on the road, and if you can find a way to go 3-1,
they beat
You're
Penn.
right there.
Yeah, they already beat Penn earlier this year. They still have Brown, who they beat down in Providence. Yale coming on the second night. Remember, Yale's got to play Harvard the night before.
Right.
You know they're going to go all out in that game. Can they catch him on a lagging Saturday? And then you go down to Penn, who you already beat. And then Princeton, the final game of the year, Jeremy. Don't be surprised if Princeton wraps up the top seed. Final game against Dartmouth. They have nothing to play for. They might sit some guys. Schedule could be in the favor of the Big Green. That's all I'm saying.
That's true. Well, hey, at least he's positive about something, folks. You can't get on the Red Sox train, but so let's go to UVM, a team that there's really a lot to talk about. They are 14-0 in conference play. They play tonight against Albany. And where do you see them seated? Assuming they can win the tournament, which I guess I don't want to say it's a big ask, but there's still some things they have to navigate. But if they do, where do you see them in the tournament? How high can they be ranked? 12, 11, or is it down like 14, 15?
So let's assume they run the table
Yep.
in America East play. They
win their
tournament, which I don't know if it's a guarantee, Jeremy, just because the history of the America East tournament, anything could happen. But assuming they win out, I think UVM will be as high as a 13 seed. I just don't think the America East is that good of a conference. Sorry, UVM fans. I think the Ivy League's better. America East has some good talent, but top to bottom, it's UVM and it's everybody else. But I think a 13 seed is reasonable, and that might be dangerous depending on where they land in the bracket.
Right.
I wouldn't want to play UVM in the first round, that's for sure.
Tons of talent, so it'll be interesting as they navigate the rest of this schedule. But going over to the top ranks, if you want to say that, UNC, Louisville, they play tonight. A big matchup. Duke is lurking in the ACC. One of those teams, whoever wins the conference tournament or the regular season, do they get a number 1 seed?
They win the tournament. Yeah, whoever comes out of the tournament, I think, yes. It will kill me to see Rick Pitino in Louisville to be the number 1 seed and him in his white suit and everything. But I think whoever wins that tournament in the ACC will get the number 1 seed for sure, just because it's so loaded. A lot of projections have 9 teams coming out of that conference for the NCAA tournament. I think that's a little bit too high. I think we'll see some Cinderellas in some conference tournament, but whoever wins the ACC, they're definitely the number 1.
Yeah, it's going to be a wonderful ACC tournament because it's usually you get a sleeper in there and an early upset. So lots to come in the tournament in the coming weeks.
YCN Sports Talk Picks of the Week are brought to you by Salt Hill Pub, with locations in Lebanon, Hanover, Newport, and Newberry. Whether you're in the mood for a quick lunch, a great steak, their signature fish and chips, a fresh salad, or the best burger in town, Salt Hill Pub has you covered. And yes, everything on their lunch and dinner menu is available for takeout.
All right, Brett, here we are. It's time to make our picks. And as we just talked about, Albany, UVM, big matchup tonight. Who you got?
UVM at home, really tough to beat. That is a serious home court advantage. I think UVM does run the table here in this final season. I have UVM tonight getting the win.
And I've never been up there, but I've heard a lot about it. I know you talk about it on the air, and I've heard it's a tough place to play. I agree with you there. I think UVM gets the win. Back down to Hanover this weekend, Brown and Dartmouth. A very winnable game for the Big Green.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Steven Spieth, really good. The kid's a beast. Yes, the brother of Jordan Spieth, great golfer in the PGA. I think Dartmouth wins this, Jeremy. They have to win it if they're going to have any chance to get to Philly, but I think they match up well, and I think Dartmouth gets the win.
And they beat them the last time down at Brown.
Yes.
So I think when they come back this weekend, they get the win as well. I'll take Dartmouth there. Over to the NBA. Celtics starting the second half in Toronto. It's going to be a tough one up north.
Yeah, and this is games that the Celtics need to win. And I think with a little bit of a layoff there, Isaiah Thomas has been playing really well. The Celtics need to beat the Raptors to have any sort of tiebreaker down the stretch. I'll just go ahead and pick the hometown team. I think the Celtics will get it done coming back from the All-Star break.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know if there'll be any new players or different players on the roster at that point, but I agree with you. I think the Celtics go on the road and get the win. Saturday, a couple big college basketball games. Florida, Kentucky. It's a rematch from an earlier game a few weeks ago when Florida really took care of business. Did they do it again?
Not at Rupp Arena. And even though Kentucky had some issues the other night at Missouri, a team that was a 7-win team, I think Kentucky will be the team to come away at Rupp Arena at home. They're a tough team to beat there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a little bit of that revenge factor, and that win that Florida had 20-something points is not indicative of what this Kentucky team is. I agree with you. I'm going Kentucky as well. And finally, it's going to be late night Saturday. Pac-12 matchup, UCLA, Arizona.
It's going to be a great one. I'm really looking forward to this, but I'm going to take UCLA. The ball, Lorenzo
Steph Curry playing, or is ball on the
apparently
team?
He's better than Steph Curry, which I don't know how we can make that assessment there. But in any case, what many consider the first overall pick, I think UCLA will get it done on the road. Arizona's kind of been Jekyll and Hyde this year. They've looked good, they've looked bad, but I think UCLA will get it done on the road.
All right, and actually in this one I have Arizona. I'm going to take them. I think they are a top 10 team in the country, and I really think they're going to make some noise in the tournament come tournament time. So they win Saturday night. All right, thanks to Brett Franklin for joining us. Thanks for watching. YCN Sports Talk premieres every Wednesday night at 7:30. Thanks for watching.